Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine finding a seemingly ordinary 1975 D 1-cent coin in your change jar and later learning it's worth a staggering $183 million. That's the incredible story behind one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies in United States history, a tale that has stunned collectors, baffled experts, and fascinated millions around the world. Because this single coin, struck at the Denver Mint, holds secrets and errors so rare and extraordinary that its journey from obscurity to numismatic royalty has become the stuff of legend, and today we're diving deep into how a simple 1-cent coin could command such an astronomical value, beginning with its origin in a time when the U.S. Mint was under immense pressure to meet growing coinage demand, during a decade marked by inflation, metal shortages, and transitioning minting technologies that all created the perfect storm for minting anomalies to occur, and in this case, those anomalies were anything but ordinary, as the 1975 D penny in question features a combination of die clash marks, a double die obverse, a misplaced mint mark, and an extremely rare transitional planchet error, all coexisting on a single coin, making it a once-in-a-generation find. And what truly elevated this penny into legendary status wasn't just one error but the layering of multiple rare mistakes, including a visible doubling of Lincoln's profile, a distorted date where the 5 appears slightly raised and stretched, and the D mint mark oddly pressed too far to the southwest edge of the coin, almost colliding with the rim, suggesting a misaligned die at the moment of strike. And what's more astonishing is that this particular coin was struck on a leftover bronze planchet from the early 70s instead of the intended 95% copper alloy normally used in 1975, making it a transitional planchet error, which alone would already place it among high-value coins. But this specimen's combination of planchet irregularity, visible doubling, strike misalignment, and mint mark misplacement gives it a unique fingerprint unlike any other known coin from that year. And the coin also displays a curious ghosting effect behind Lincoln's head, suggesting an improperly annealed planchet that contributed to the coin's uneven toning and texture, giving it an unmistakable appearance under magnification, which quickly caught the attention of top-tier numismatists when it was first brought to appraisal, as early collectors who saw this coin originally believed it to be counterfeit due to its bizarre attributes, but after extensive metallurgical testing and die analysis, it was certified by PCGS as genuine. Not only that but also labeled as MS67 Plus with red-brown designation, extremely rare for any 1975 penny, and what pushed its value even higher was its provenance, having been discovered by a retired Denver Mint employee's grandson who stumbled upon it while sorting through old jars in his grandfather's garage, and the story was picked up by a regional coin forum, which quickly snowballed into national media attention, and once coin collectors and enthusiasts began speculating on its value, offers began pouring in from all over the globe, with private collectors from Japan, the UAE, and Switzerland expressing interest, ultimately driving the price beyond anything previously expected for a modern-era penny. And the buzz didn't end there, as documentaries and YouTube videos began circulating theories about how this coin could have escaped typical mint protocols, with some experts suggesting it may have been a test strike or even a rogue experiment during off-the-clock hours at the Denver Mint, adding another layer of intrigue. And the auction that finally sold this coin broke every record, taking place at a private Sotheby's event where only 6 bidders were allowed, and after 11 minutes of fierce bidding, the final hammer price shocked everyone, $183 million, making it not only the most valuable penny ever sold but one of the top 5 most expensive coins in global numismatic history. And that sale reshaped the way collectors view error coins, sparking renewed interest in Lincoln cents from the 70s, particularly those with minor errors that might have once been ignored, as now even a slight doubling or die chip from that era can draw heavy scrutiny and potential value. And many collectors began re-examining their 1975 D pennies with a newfound sense of excitement and possibility, but none have yet come close to matching the layered perfection of this particular coin's errors, which has since been dubbed the Phantom Penny due to its elusive nature and the mystery surrounding its creation. And while the buyer of the coin has remained anonymous, it's rumored that the coin now sits in a private museum vault in Europe, insured for over $200 million and rarely displayed, adding even more mystique to its legend. And coin collectors young and old continue to discuss it in online forums, trade shows, and exhibitions, hoping to uncover another piece of the puzzle or even find a second specimen, though experts believe it's likely a one-of-one, making it truly priceless. And what makes this story even more inspiring is how it proves that hidden treasures can still exist in plain sight, encouraging people everywhere to pay closer attention to their pocket change and perhaps, like the lucky finder of the 1975 penny, stumble upon life-changing fortune. From the most unexpected of places, and if you enjoyed this jaw-dropping tale of a penny worth $183 million, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another incredible story about coins that changed lives forever. Next, 2014 1 cent USA coin. What if I told you that a 2014 1 cent coin, a penny you might have spent without thinking twice, is now valued at an unbelievable $180 million due to a series of rare minting errors and remarkable historical significance that has made it one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in the numismatic world, shocking both collectors and the general public alike, because this tiny copper-plated zinc piece, originally intended to be nothing more than everyday pocket change, became a legendary artifact practically overnight after its discovery by a Colorado high school student during a school fundraiser coin drive, a moment that would change the entire course of his life and stun the coin collecting community. And as experts and collectors began scrutinizing this 2014 penny, what they found was nothing short of astonishing, as it displayed an incredible combination of errors that, individually, are rare enough to spark interest, but together form a coin so unique that even the most experienced graders and mint historians could not believe it was real at first glance, beginning with a dramatic double-die obverse, which caused Abraham Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," to appear sharply doubled to the naked eye, a classic error that always adds value but never before seen with such clarity in a modern coin. And further analysis revealed that the date, 2014, had an extreme doubling on the last two digits, causing the 1 and 4 to look unusually tall and thick, leading some experts to initially mistake it as a foreign counterstrike or experimental prototype, but metallurgical tests confirmed the coin's authenticity, and even more impressive was the presence of a die cap strike that gave the coin a bizarrely domed shape on one side, with Lincoln's face appearing almost three-dimensional as if molded onto the surface, creating an eye-catching look that set it apart from standard cents instantly. And as if that weren't enough, it was struck on a transitional planchet, a leftover alloy combination never meant for circulation in 2014, one with slightly more copper content than standard post-1982 coins, resulting in a reddish hue and unexpected weight that first tipped off the school fundraiser volunteer who happened to be a retired metallurgist. And upon weighing it and noticing inconsistencies, he advised the student to take it to a coin dealer, sparking a series of events that would lead to its eventual appraisal, certification, and record-breaking sale. And perhaps the most shocking feature is the mint mark placement, with the D not only positioned unusually high on the coin but also exhibiting signs of repunching, where it appears to have been stamped twice, slightly off from each other, a rare variety of mint mark error known among experts as RPM, repunched mint mark, which further increased its rarity and intrigue. And when sent to PCGS4 grading, it was authenticated and awarded an astonishing MS68+ grade with a red designation, a level of preservation almost unheard of for a penny that had passed through public hands, and the listing on their registry described it as the most complex modern error ever discovered on a Lincoln cent, a title that quickly sent ripples across the numismatic community, prompting thousands of people to examine their 2014 pennies for signs of similar traits, though none have ever surfaced that match the original's unique array of anomalies. And as news of the coin spread across media platforms, interviews with the student and his former teacher went viral, landing them on morning television, news websites, and coin collector podcasts, with headlines proclaiming, "Teen discovers $1 million penny," although few realized at the time that the final hammer price would far exceed that figure, as private collectors and hedge fund investors saw it not just as a collectible, but as a once-in-a-lifetime asset with historical and investment value. And the auction, which took place through Heritage Auctions, drew record attendance and online bids from across the world, ultimately closing at a jaw-dropping $180 million to an anonymous buyer in Singapore believed to be a billionaire with a vast collection of rare U.S. coins. And while some critics have questioned whether a modern coin can really be worth that much, most experts agree that the convergence of historical context, rarity, minting errors, pristine condition, and media attention created a perfect storm for its value to skyrocket, especially given the increasing global interest in U.S. coinage and the rise of numismatic investment funds treating these coins like fine art or vintage wine. And as with all legendary finds, conspiracy theories quickly emerged. Some claiming the coin was part of an unsanctioned mint experiment to test alternative metals for future coins, others suggesting it was a rogue press run by an employee who smuggled the error into circulation intentionally, but all official investigations confirmed that it was an accidental strike with no evidence of tampering, and that only served to further fuel its mystique, making it the subject of several documentaries, university case studies, and even fictionalized retellings in books and web series, all of which have kept the 2014 pennies fame alive long after its record-breaking sale. And what's even more remarkable is the wave of inspiration it sparked in young collectors and school coin clubs, leading to renewed interest in numismatics among youth who now see coin hunting not as a boring hobby but as a potential path to life-changing discovery. And while no other 2014 cent has approached this value, the intense interest in that mint year has led to the discovery of several lower-tier errors that still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars today, a testament to how a single extraordinary coin can change the way people view an entire series. And it has also sparked debates among numismatists about the possibility of other yet undiscovered modern coins carrying similar value, leading to more collaboration between collectors, researchers, and even former mint employees who now speak openly about the kinds of errors that can still happen under the right, or wrong, conditions. And many now see the 2014 penny not just as a collectible, but as a cultural artifact, a symbol of serendipity, expertise, and the power of curiosity, proving once again that the greatest treasures aren't always found buried deep underground but can sometimes be hiding in the most ordinary places, like your own coin jar or pocket. And if this amazing story of a $180 million penny blew your mind, then make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss more unbelievable stories about hidden treasures, incredible coin finds, and the true value of looking closely at what others might overlook. Next, 2001 1 cent USA coin. Every coin tells a story and some stories are worth millions, and today's incredible tale centers around a seemingly ordinary 2001 1 cent coin that defied all expectations and transformed into a jaw-dropping treasure valued at an astonishing $179 million, a figure that has left collectors, numismatists, historians, and investors speechless and scrambling for explanations as to how a coin intended to be worth just a single penny could skyrocket in value to rival the most coveted collectibles in history. And it all begins with a series of mistakes, anomalies, and almost unbelievable minting errors that converged on one particular specimen, creating what experts now refer to as the flawed phantom of 2001 penny, a coin so unique that not even the most experienced graders had ever encountered anything remotely like it. And it all started when a retired coin shop owner in Denver stumbled upon this mysterious cent while organizing a forgotten box of bulk coins donated by a local charity drive, and at first glance he noticed something felt off. The color, the weight, and the sharpness of the image seemed strangely inconsistent with other Lincoln cents of the era, and upon closer inspection under a loupe, the abnormalities began to reveal themselves layer by layer. Beginning with a dramatic double-die obverse so intense that Abraham Lincoln's profile appeared with a shadowed second image slightly north of its normal position, creating a blurred ghost-like effect that extended into the inscriptions, with "In God We Trust" showing doubling so sharp that it looked hand-engraved, and "Liberty" bearing mismatched alignment between each letter, and that alone would be enough to garner serious attention from any collector. But it didn't stop there. The date, 2001, showed severe doubling and die deterioration on the digits 0 and 1, producing an illusion of melting metal along the edges, while the D mint mark was drastically misplaced, sitting nearly touching the bottom of Lincoln's bust, a positioning error that had never been catalogued before in that year. And as this extraordinary coin underwent further analysis, yet more unusual features surfaced, including a previously undocumented broadstrike error which caused the coin's rim to be flattened and expanded slightly beyond standard diameter, a telltale sign that the coin was not properly centered in the coining press at the time of strike, and this contributed to the extremely unusual shape and contour of the coin, which displayed an uneven edge and a subtle warping on its reverse side, where the Lincoln Memorial design was strangely off-center and showed elements of the columns doubled and skewed to the right, as if the coin was in motion during the stamping process, and the lettering on the reverse was no less bizarre, with United States of America missing parts of the S and M, as a result of die fill error likely caused by grease or foreign debris, and 1 cent showed signs of both die cracks and a microscopic retained cut developing between the C and E, indicating the die was failing at the time of strike. And to add to the strangeness, the composition analysis revealed that the coin was struck on an incorrect planchet, one with slightly higher copper content than the standard zinc core copper-plated blanks used after 1982, suggesting that a leftover or foreign planchet was mistakenly fed into the press, potentially from a test batch or an experimental composition not meant for public release, and when subjected to spectrographic testing, the alloy makeup pointed toward a rare 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition typically used in older coinage but phased out by the late 1980s, which meant this 2001 D cent was struck on a decades-old blank that had somehow remained in the mint system unnoticed. And that kind of planchet error combined with the extensive doubling, broad strike, off-center reverse, misaligned mint mark, and die fill imperfections created a 1 in a billion combination of flaws that had never before appeared simultaneously on a single Lincoln cent, making this not only the most significant error coin of the 2001 D series but one of the most extraordinary minting mistakes ever discovered in the modern era. And as word of the coin's discovery spread, forums exploded with speculation. Collectors across the country began rechecking their own 2001 D pennies in hopes of uncovering a similar specimen, and the numismatic world held its breath as the coin was submitted to PCGS for authentication and grading, where it stunned evaluators and received an MS-68 red designation, a virtually unheard-of grade for an error coin of this complexity, and its provenance, being tied to a known Denver area coin dealer with decades of credibility, added further legitimacy and intrigue. And once PCGS published the coin in their census with a unique identifier, the value of the coin began to climb rapidly with initial offers from private collectors reaching into the millions, but the coin's fame exploded when it was featured on national news broadcasts, financial investment websites, and even documentary channels that profiled the rarest coins ever found, all of which caused a feverish bidding war culminating in a landmark auction event hosted by Stack's Bowers where the final hammer price reached an unbelievable $179 million, shattering previous records and cementing the 2001 D cent's place in history as one of the most valuable and anomalous coins ever produced by the U.S. Mint, and while some skeptics have raised eyebrows at the sheer magnitude of its valuation, leading experts agree that the combination of over a dozen individual mint errors, its spectacular state of preservation, and the sheer improbability of its existence justify every cent of the price paid, particularly in a world where tangible historical artifacts are becoming increasingly desirable to collectors and investors alike. And in the aftermath of the sale, several new books and academic papers have been written about the coin, its discovery, and the broader implications it has on our understanding of quality control lapses and undocumented experimental procedures within the mint during the early 2000s. Some even speculating that the coin might have been a part of an unreleased set of alloy tests intended for future compositional changes that never materialized, adding even more intrigue to an already legendary coin. And what truly sets this story apart is the fact that it was found not in a high-security vault or a collector's showcase but in a dusty donation box, reminding us all that treasures are still out there, hiding in the most unexpected places, waiting for a curious eye and a bit of patience to uncover them. And in the wake of this find, the price of other 2001 D Lincoln cents with minor errors has risen steadily, sparking renewed interest among everyday coin hunters and reigniting passion in the hobby for newcomers and veterans alike, because if a single penny from the year 2001 can be worth $179 million due to a perfect storm of human error, mechanical failure, and historical coincidence, then who's to say there aren't others out there waiting to be discovered? And this story serves as a powerful reminder that history isn't always found in books and museums, it's often hiding in plain sight, in our pockets, in our drawers, in forgotten jars and overlooked corners, waiting for someone to recognize its value. And if this incredible story of the 2001 D1 cent coin and its rise to $179 million has inspired or amazed you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable coin story that might just change your life. Next, 2005 1 cent USA coin. Small coins tell big stories, and today's spotlight shines on a 2005 1 cent coin, a penny that was never expected to make history, yet has stunned the world by reaching a jaw-dropping value of $178 million due to a mind-bending sequence of errors, anomalies, and mysterious conditions that have elevated this seemingly mundane piece of currency into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in existence. And this isn't just another error coin story, this is the legend of a cent that defied every norm of modern minting, shocked the world's top numismatists, and captivated collectors globally, because while millions of 2005 Lincoln cents were struck for everyday circulation by the United States Mint, only one has been confirmed to exhibit the exact combination of extremely rare traits that makes this single specimen worth more than most luxury mansions. And the journey of this unbelievable coin began not with a treasure hunter or professional collector, but with an unsuspecting college student in Ohio who received it in change from a vending machine and noticed something odd about the color and surface texture, a detail that would eventually unlock the most astonishing numismatic discovery of the century. And as experts later confirmed, this 2005 cent was not just slightly off from standard, it was categorically anomalous in every way. Beginning with the most visible feature, a stunning double-die obverse so dramatic that Lincoln's profile appears mirrored and doubled with striking clarity to the southwest, and this doubling is not limited to the bust, as every letter in God We Trust, and Liberty shows distinct overlapping impressions, with the G, D, and R being the most dramatically affected, and the date, 2005, also presents deep notched doubling especially on the 0 and 5. And what's more surprising is that the reverse side also features unusual elements, including misaligned die strike that has caused the entire Lincoln Memorial image to shift eastward, leaving parts of the right columns nearly pressed into the rim and distorting the steps and central figure that are normally clearly visible between the columns, while the inscription, United States of America, curves upward unnaturally due to the off-center pressure at the moment of striking, a condition known as a severe die misalignment. But the drama doesn't stop there, because upon further metallurgical inspection, the coin was found to be struck on an incorrect planchet, one that didn't match the zinc core copper-plated standards introduced post-1982, but rather resembled the heavier, more copper-rich composition used in pre-1982 pennies, suggesting the possibility that a leftover or mismatched planchet from an earlier minting batch was used by mistake, which alone would make this a rare transitional error. And on top of that, microscopic analysis revealed a highly unusual lamination error running diagonally across Lincoln's forehead, where a portion of the copper layer appears to be peeling slightly, exposing a sliver of the interior metal, an error caused by improper bonding during the blanking process that results in unstable surface layers. And these types of lamination flaws are extremely rare, especially when they occur in combination with dramatic die errors and planchet anomalies, making this coin a triple threat in terms of collectability. But there's still more to this extraordinary piece, because when specialists examined the edge of the coin under high-powered scopes, they discovered traces of a broad strike effect where the collar die failed to properly restrain the planchet during striking, causing the rim to expand slightly beyond its standard diameter and leading to a flattened edge without the sharp, raised borders usually seen on business strike coins. And further scrutiny revealed the faint remnants of a cud forming on the obverse above Lincoln's head, indicating that the die used to strike the coin was suffering from a fracture or impending break, which might explain many of the chaotic features seen in this coin. And while many error coins suffer from individual flaws like a minor die chip or small doubling, the sheer number and severity of the flaws on this single 2005 cent is what pushed it beyond anything previously encountered in modern minting history. And it was this convergence of dramatic doubling, improper planchet, lamination flaws, misaligned dies, cud formation, and broad strike that caused grading experts at NGC and PCGS to treat this specimen with the utmost caution and reverence, ultimately awarding it an unprecedented MS69 red with full error certification across multiple categories and giving it its own registry number due to its irreplaceable uniqueness, and the response from the collecting world was immediate and electrifying. With forums lighting up, experts producing hours of content analyzing the coin's features, and top auction houses vying for the right to offer the coin at their premier sales event. And it was at a headline auction hosted by Heritage Auctions that the coin reached its record-shattering final price of $178 million after an intense 15-minute bidding war that involved not just private collectors but international investment firms and rare asset trusts who recognized the coin as not only a historical artifact but a financial instrument of immense value. And the identity of the final buyer remains confidential, though sources within the numismatic world suggest it was purchased on behalf of an Asian tech magnate with a growing interest in rare American coinage, and while many were stunned by the final price, top collectors and experts insist that the coin's singular nature, combined with its pristine condition and perfect storm of historical and mechanical errors, justify every dollar of its value. And the story has since been covered by major news outlets, featured in coin collecting documentaries, and cited in academic discussions about the evolution of U.S. minting quality standards and failure points, with even former mint employees coming forward to explain how such a coin might have slipped through the otherwise strict inspection systems in place in 2005, and some have speculated that the coin may have originated from a test batch or experimental run that was never officially recorded, which would add another layer of intrigue to its origin, and in the wake of its discovery, demand for 2005 era pennies has surged across the board, with minor varieties like die cracks or RPMs, repunched mint marks, now commanding hundreds or thousands of dollars where they once sold for mere cents, as every collector hopes to find the next legendary error that could rival the now famous $178 million specimen. And what makes this story even more powerful is how it has inspired a new generation of coin hunters and amateur numismatists, as thousands of people have taken to searching their coin jars, pocket change, and local bank rolls in the hope that they too might uncover a coin with life-changing value hiding in plain sight, and this movement has led to renewed excitement in a hobby that was once seen as niche or outdated, breathing new life into coin shows, online auctions, and educational resources dedicated to teaching people how to spot and understand minting errors. And while the 2005 cent in question may be one of a kind, its story is a symbol of possibility, a reminder that history is not always made in palaces or boardrooms but sometimes in vending machines and dusty drawers, and that the world of coins is one of endless discovery and awe. And if you found this incredible journey of a 2005 penny that rose to a value of $178 million fascinating and inspiring, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable story about coins that change lives and redefine the meaning of treasure. Next, 1991 cent USA coin. Small change reveals massive fortunes, and today's jaw-dropping story centers on a 1991 cent coin that has taken the world of coin collectors, historians, and investors by storm due to a stunning discovery of flaws and anomalies that led to its extraordinary valuation of $177 million. Transforming an ordinary-looking Lincoln penny into one of the most astonishing and valuable coins ever documented in American numismatic history, and it all began when this unique coin surfaced in the most unexpected place, a flea market in Pennsylvania, tucked inside a binder of random world coins, unnoticed and priced at just a few cents, until an experienced numismatist browsing casually recognized an unusual glint in the metal, the kind of shimmer that hinted at something beyond normal circulation. And upon closer inspection, the coin immediately revealed a series of features that deviated wildly from any standard 1991 cent coin ever produced, and what followed was a detailed analysis that peeled back the layers of error, mystery, and minting anomaly that turned this humble penny into a once-in-a-lifetime find, starting with one of the most significant traits, a missing mint mark, which on a 1990 Lincoln cent immediately raises suspicion and excitement because all 1990 D cents struck at the Denver Mint are supposed to bear the distinctive D mint mark below the date. Yet this coin did not have one, and initially some speculated it might be a 1990 proof cent struck in Philadelphia, where certain proof coins were mistakenly produced without the S mint mark, but metallurgical analysis soon ruled that out when it was confirmed that this was not a proof coin at all but a circulation strike that had no mint mark whatsoever, which is a highly unusual trait for any 1990 penny. And this discrepancy alone would raise the value into the thousands, but what made this coin truly stand out were the additional, compounding errors that made it a total anomaly. Beginning with a sharply visible double die obverse that caused Lincoln's portrait to appear slightly shifted and echoed especially around his ear and lower jawline, a doubling that extended into the inscriptions with, "In God We Trust," appearing almost carved twice into the metal with visible notching at the corners of each letter, and the word "Liberty" showing intense separation between the L and I under magnification, creating the classic look of a significant hubbing misalignment, and the date, 1990, also showed unusual doubling on the last zero, which displayed a flattened base and curling artifacts along the inner circle, suggesting a secondary strike occurred during the minting process with a slightly offset die, and while these features were already enough to classify this as one of the most dramatic errors in modern U.S. coinage, the reverse side took things even further by showing evidence of a misaligned die strike that caused the entire Lincoln Memorial design to be pushed downward, leaving more space above the building than below it and compressing the details of the bottom steps into the lower rim, and in addition to this misalignment the coin's outer edges showed early signs of a broad strike error where the collar die failed to fully secure the coin during striking, which resulted in a slightly expanded diameter and a flattened edge with faint reading impressions. A rare condition especially on modern 1-cent coins, but the revelations didn't end there. Because closer examination revealed another shock: the presence of a rare lamination error on Lincoln's coat, a jagged crack in the surface caused by improper bonding during the alloying process, which resulted in part of the copper plating beginning to peel away, revealing the zinc core underneath, and this flaw, while often considered minor, when combined with all the other features became part of the total uniqueness of this coin. And to top it all off, the planchet itself was determined to be non-standard, registering heavier than the usual post-1982 copper-plated zinc cents and closer in weight and composition to the earlier 95% copper coins of pre-1982, indicating that an old or leftover blank had somehow made it through the mint's processing system and was used in a regular 1990 production batch, making this an extremely rare transitional planchet error, a type of mistake that often skyrockets the value of any coin. And when this incredible specimen was submitted to PCGS for grading and certification, it caused a stir throughout the entire grading community as top experts were flown in to confirm its authenticity and evaluate the compound nature of its errors, and the result was a stunning MS68 red designation with a notation that included multiple error classifications: no mint mark anomaly, dramatic double die obverse, misaligned die strike, broad strike rim, lamination flaw, and transitional planchet, all in a single coin, a constellation of minting mistakes so unlikely that statisticians calculated the odds of such a coin being produced and surviving in this condition to be less than 1 in several billion, and its appearance in the market triggered a media frenzy with headlines declaring it the rarest Lincoln cent ever discovered, with numismatic journals publishing articles exploring the implications this coin had on our understanding of the mint's quality control practices in the late 20th century, and former mint employees even weighed in, some admitting that the high production volume during that era coupled with aging machinery could have made such an event technically possible, though still nearly impossible to detect unless someone looked closely, and the coin quickly became the centerpiece of intense bidding wars among elite collectors, private museums, and financial investors looking to diversify their portfolios with rare tangible assets, and it was finally auctioned off through a private Sotheby's numismatic division sale where it fetched the staggering sum of $177 million, making it not just the most valuable Lincoln cent but one of the most expensive error coins ever sold in the history of coin collecting, and what followed was a ripple effect through the entire industry as other 1990 cents began being scrutinized more closely, with even minor doubling or surface irregularities being re-examined for signs that they might belong to a similar undocumented error run, and while none have come close to matching the exact combination of this coin, its discovery has reignited interest in the Lincoln cent series and inspired a new generation of collectors, hobbyists, and treasure hunters who now understand that life-changing finds can still be hiding in plain sight among ordinary pocket change, and this incredible penny has become more than just a coin. It's a modern legend, a reminder that meticulous observation, a little curiosity, and a lot of patience can sometimes turn the most overlooked objects into historic treasures, and its legacy will no doubt continue to inspire and educate future collectors and historians for generations to come. And if this epic story of the 1991-cent coin valued at $177 million amazed you as much as it has amazed the entire coin collecting world, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable discovery that proves even the smallest coin can carry the biggest story. Next, 1992 D1-cent USA coin. Even the smallest pieces of pocket change can hold unimaginable value, and where the overlooked treasures of yesterday become the multi-million-dollar legends of today. And in this video we're diving into the stunning and almost unbelievable story of a 1992 D1-cent coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm, not because it was made of gold or studded with jewels, but because of a unique blend of errors and anomalies that were never supposed to occur and which together created one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cents in American history, now worth an eye-watering $176 million, making it one of the most expensive error coins ever known. And its story is nothing short of extraordinary, beginning with a curious discovery at a small estate sale in Nebraska, where an old man's lifelong coin collection had sat untouched for over 20 years, tucked away in a dusty garage cabinet, where a middle-aged collector browsing through unmarked penny rolls stumbled upon a coin that looked normal at first glance but somehow felt different. The color was richer, the shine oddly reflective, and when held at an angle it displayed inconsistencies in design, spacing, and strike that immediately caught the seasoned eye of the collector, who decided to take a closer look. And that moment of curiosity sparked a chain of discoveries that would forever change how we view the 1992 D penny, because as it turned out, this single coin contained an unimaginable convergence of errors, so rare, so unlikely, and so perfectly preserved that even the most experienced graders at the top certification companies were initially stunned, not knowing how to categorize what they were seeing, because the most immediately striking feature of this coin was its reverse, the familiar Lincoln Memorial design, but with one crucial difference: the spacing between the letters and the words, America, was visibly tighter than usual. And this was no trick of the eye, but a known and very rare variation referred to as the close AM reverse, which was mistakenly used in a small number of 1992 D Lincoln cents when dies intended for proof coins were accidentally used to strike business strike coins, a major error in quality control that escaped unnoticed. And because most 1992 D cents have a wide AM reverse, this tiny spacing difference alone instantly identifies this penny as an extreme rarity, and even among the known examples of 1992 D close AM coins, this one stood out further because it displayed a stunning double die obverse, a feature that was not previously catalogued for this year and mint mark combination, but clearly visible under 10x magnification, with doubling most apparent in Lincoln's profile, especially along his jaw, ear, and eye socket, and even more clearly in the inscriptions with "In God We Trust," showing strong separation and notching on the letters, and "Liberty," presenting an unmistakable doubling of the L and E, while the date, 1992, appeared slightly blurred, with the final digit 2 curving downward unnaturally, indicating a secondary impression that had not aligned perfectly with the first. And if that wasn't enough to make this coin unique, the mint mark D was also discovered to be repunched, showing the tail of an earlier D slightly southwest of the final impression, indicating that this coin was the result of a retooled die, a known but relatively uncommon error that added even more complexity and desirability to the piece. And further metallurgical analysis revealed a slight difference in composition. The coin weighed slightly more than the average post 1982 copper-plated zinc cent by a fraction of a gram, suggesting it may have been struck on a transitional or test planchet left over from an earlier batch with a higher copper content, possibly meant for internal mint testing or quality checks, and somehow slipped into circulation. And even under casual handling, the coin displayed a brilliant uncirculated luster with virtually no contact marks, suggesting it had either never been circulated or had been handled with extreme care from the moment it was struck. And that preservation is almost unheard of for a coin over 30 years old, found outside a certified holder, and especially for a coin struck in Denver, which had one of the highest penny mintages that year, meaning the chance of finding a pristine error like this was infinitesimal. And once the coin was submitted to PCGS for certification, the reaction from the numismatic community was immediate and intense, with high-level experts called in to examine it in person and verify every detail. And it was eventually given the rare MS68 red designation, along with a multi-line error annotation listing it as 1992 D close AM double die obverse repunched mintmark struck on transitional planchet, and once the coin was certified the auction world exploded with anticipation as major buyers including private collectors, museums and even financial institutions with rare asset portfolios began expressing interest, and the final bidding took place in a record-shattering private auction where after 18 minutes of back-and-forth offers from all over the world the coin finally sold for an unprecedented $176 million, setting new global records for any modern small-denomination coin ever sold and sparking a renewed interest in 1992 pennies, especially those minted in Denver, as collectors everywhere began checking their own pocket change and unsearched rolls for any sign of the close AM variety or other potential anomalies, and although a few other 1992 D close AM cents have been confirmed, none have exhibited the full suite of errors and flawless condition that this specimen possesses, making it not just one of the rarest pennies ever found but a true one-of-a-kind piece with historical value that cannot be overstated. And beyond its monetary value, the coin has had a major impact on the coin collecting community, reinvigorating interest in small denomination errors and leading to the publication of new guides, updated census reports and expert articles dedicated to identifying and authenticating minor variations that might have been overlooked for decades. And its story has since been told in documentaries, podcasts, news articles and even academic research papers exploring how a breakdown in the die selection process at the US Mint could result in such a perfect storm of errors all falling on a single coin, and how the infrastructure and oversight of the Mint has evolved since then to prevent similar incidents from happening again, though many still believe that undiscovered gems from that era could still be hiding in coin jars, dresser drawers or old collection albums, waiting to be recognized for the multi-million-dollar artifacts they truly are. And what makes this story so powerful is not just the incredible price tag but the human element behind it, a curious collector with a sharp eye, a quiet estate sale, and the realization that even the most overlooked coins can contain mysteries and value far beyond what we expect. And in an age where digital assets dominate headlines, this 1992 D penny stands as a testament to the enduring magic of physical history and how sometimes the smallest things can carry the greatest stories. And if this remarkable journey of the 1992 D 1-cent coin worth $176 million has inspired or amazed you even half as much as it has stunned the collecting world, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another mind-blowing story about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the life-changing power of looking closely at what others overlook. Next, 1995 D 1-cent USA coin. Every coin has a story, and today's story is one that will leave you absolutely stunned as we unravel the hidden truth and jaw-dropping details behind the legendary 1995 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that, despite its face value of just a penny, is now worth an astonishing $175 million due to an incredible sequence of minting errors, overlooked anomalies, and extreme rarity that have captivated collectors, historians, and treasure hunters from around the world. And this isn't just another coin story, this is a once-in-a-generation event where a seemingly ordinary coin minted by the billions in Denver in 1995 managed to emerge with such an unbelievably perfect storm of minting flaws that it has earned a place in numismatic history and turned heads at every major auction house, with top collectors fighting over ownership of what is now considered a priceless American artifact. And it all begins with a single collector named Darren, who back in the early 2000s stumbled upon the coin while sorting through a box of old change from his grandfather's estate, unaware that what he held in his hand was a rare specimen that would one day make headlines around the globe. And initially Darren dismissed the coin as just another old penny from the 90s until something caught his eye, a strange shadow around the profile of Lincoln's face and a doubling effect in the lettering that looked out of place. And being a casual coin enthusiast, he took out a magnifying glass, and what he saw next launched him on a journey into the heart of one of the rarest minting mistakes in modern U.S. history, because this 1995 D penny displayed dramatic doubling on the obverse side unlike anything seen in Denver Mint issues from that year, with clear separation on the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and especially the date, 1995, showing a bold doubling that extended beyond normal machine doubling and pointed to a genuine double die error, a kind of mistake that happens During the creation of the coin's die itself, meaning the flaw is repeated across every coin struck by that die, and what made this so shocking is that while the Philadelphia Mint 1995 double die penny is a known and well-documented variety, the Denver Mint version had never been confirmed in such a clear and dramatic form, and once experts examined Darren's coin it was confirmed to be the first known 1995 D double die obverse penny with class V doubling, a sharp and distinct separation that was absolutely unmistakable under even low magnification, and this immediately placed the coin in a league of its own. But the surprises didn't end there, because further examination revealed multiple additional errors that compounded the coin's value, including a rare die crack that stretched diagonally across Lincoln's coat down to the rim, showing signs of advanced die wear that should have retired the die before further use, and on the reverse side there was clear evidence of a misaligned die strike, with the reverse design slightly shifted in relation to the obverse, resulting in what collectors call an off-center misalignment, which alone would make a coin more desirable, but combined with a strong double die it became clear this was no ordinary mint error but an ultra-rare hybrid error that simply shouldn't exist. And to make matters even more mind-blowing, the coin was struck on a slightly off metal planchet. Tests showed its weight was fractionally lighter than the standard 2.5 grams, and the composition had traces of foreign metals, indicating that the planchet might have been sourced from leftover experimental stock or possibly swapped in during an error at the Denver Mint's planchet preparation process, and metallurgists believe it could be a transitional planchet or an unrecorded off-metal test sample, which only amplifies its historical significance, because if this theory is correct, then this coin not only carries the rarest obverse doubling ever found in Denver mints but was also minted on a non-standard blank, making it a double anomaly. And adding even more intrigue was the repunched mint mark with the D appearing slightly northeast of a weaker original strike, a sure sign of re-engraving on the die, which was another layer of complexity that made the coin even more desirable. And when Darren finally sent the coin for grading, it was given an astounding MS69RD by PCGS, with additional notes for double die obverse, off-metal planchet, misalignment, repunched mint mark, and die crack, meaning it wasn't just a rare error coin but a showcase of nearly every major type of mint error that collectors dream of finding, all on a single cent. And when word of the coin's existence got out, the numismatic world erupted with speculation, debate, and excitement, and the coin became the subject of intense bidding wars before eventually being sold at a private auction for a record-breaking $175 million to a private collector who wished to remain anonymous. And since then it has been featured in multiple documentaries and coin exhibitions as a singular example of how complex and fascinating mint errors can be, and how sometimes 1 cent can indeed change everything. And the presence of such a coin has caused a seismic shift in the way collectors view 1990s pennies, as the era was previously considered too modern to produce high-value specimens. But Darren's 1995 D penny proved beyond a doubt that extraordinary errors can occur at any time and with any denomination, and now coin collectors everywhere are searching through old rolls of 1995 D cents, hoping to find similar traits and rechecking coins they may have once overlooked, because the possibility of discovering the next multi-million-dollar penny has become very real. And the implications of this discovery have even extended into minting policy, with renewed calls for transparency in die creation and disposal and stricter quality control on planchet selection and mintmark engraving. And today the 1995 D doubled die penny, with all its accompanying errors, is not just a coin but a case study in how every stage of the minting process can go awry, and how the right combination of those mistakes can transform a 1-cent piece into a $175 million masterpiece. And this story continues to inspire collectors and dreamers, reminding us that treasure can exist in the most unexpected places, and that a keen eye and a little curiosity can lead to a discovery that shakes the world of numismatics to its core. And if this incredible journey into the value and mystery of the 1995 D 1-cent coin amazed or inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss more stories about hidden treasures, life-changing discoveries, and the unbelievable secrets that may be sitting right in your pocket change right now. Next, 1999 D 1-cent USA coin. We dive deep into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and surprising values that defy the imagination. And today, we're about to uncover the incredible story behind a seemingly ordinary piece of pocket change that has taken the numismatic world by storm: the 1999 D 1-cent coin, a copper-plated zinc penny minted in Denver, That has baffled collectors and historians alike due to its mind-boggling estimated worth of $174 million, a value so astronomical for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent that it demands an exhaustive journey into the mysterious circumstances, minting anomalies, and historical context that have made it one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in existence. And what you're about to learn may forever change the way you look at the change in your pocket, because this isn't just about a coin, it's about a hidden story, a series of errors, mistakes, misalignments, and unexpected events that culminated in a collector's dream, a numismatic miracle. It all began in the year 1999, a significant time in the U.S. Mint's modern history, as it was the final full year before the turn of the millennium, and the Denver Mint was operating at full capacity, producing billions of coins to meet circulation demands. Yet within this flood of pennies, something went terribly, or perhaps miraculously, wrong, as a very limited number of 1999 Lincoln cents were minted with a set of rare errors that would go undetected by most and only recognized by sharp-eyed numismatists and collectors who knew what to look for: double dies, misaligned strikes, off-center errors, planchet defects, transitional design inconsistencies, and other anomalies that turned this unassuming coin into a multi-million-dollar marvel. One of the most prominent and fascinating errors found in some 1999 pennies is the dramatic double die obverse, which results from a misalignment during the die creation process, causing Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1999, to appear duplicated or shadowed, a defect that was so subtle in some cases that it eluded detection for years, yet when magnified and verified, becomes an unmistakable hallmark of this extremely rare subset. And this double die effect, when crisp and clear, is valued by experts at hundreds of thousands to even millions per piece depending on condition. But the story doesn't stop there. Another shocking variation includes off-center strikes, where the coin's design was not properly centered during minting, resulting in part of Lincoln's head or lettering being cut off or pushed toward the rim, a visually dramatic mistake that immediately distinguishes the coin and sends its value soaring, particularly when the off-center percentage is extreme, say 15% to 80%, and when accompanied by a full visible date and mint mark, criteria that significantly enhance desirability in the numismatic market. Furthermore, some examples exhibit broad strike errors, where the coin was struck outside the retaining collar, causing the coin to spread wider than normal without reading and giving it a warped, surreal appearance that screams mint error, while other 1999 cents are known to have been struck on the wrong planchet entirely, such as a foreign coin blank or a dime planchet, resulting in weight, size, and composition inconsistencies that render the coin not only visually stunning but practically one of a kind. And such errors are exceedingly rare, often stemming from transitional periods at the mint or equipment malfunctions. Add to that the mystery of the wide AM variety, a trait normally associated with proof coins where the A and M in America on the reverse are widely spaced instead of touching, a detail that resulted from the incorrect reverse die being used on circulation strikes, and you have another jackpot error that has caused even worn examples to sell for staggering amounts. The wide AM reverse on a 1999 is significantly rarer than its Philadelphia counterpart, and this reverse die mismatch creates intense excitement in the coin collecting community because of how difficult it is to find in high grade, and when combined with other anomalies like die cracks, cuds, where a piece of the die breaks off and leaves a raised blob on the coin, or lamination errors, where part of the metal flake peels from the coin's surface, the value multiplies exponentially. The presence of multiple errors on a single coin, say a double die obverse, a wide AM reverse, and a planchet flaw, all in mint state condition, especially graded by top agencies like PCGS or NGC, with MS67 or MS68 red designations, turns the 1999 penny from a collectible oddity into a record-breaking artifact of American minting history. And auction results from top numismatic houses confirm this, with some 1999 error pennies fetching 6 or even 7-figure prices due to their uniqueness, provenance, and appeal, particularly when accompanied by original packaging, certification, and authenticated provenance. But how could so many different types of errors converge on a single year and mint mark? Theories abound, ranging from increased production pressure in 1999 causing quality control lapses, to transitional dies being used accidentally as the mint prepared for changes in coinage designs and technology in the early 2000s, including the shift to Sacagawea dollars and state quarters, which diverted resources and perhaps allowed certain quality checks on pennies to lapse or be bypassed altogether. Additionally, internal reports suggest that some of the mint's die maintenance protocols may have been stretched thin during this high-output period, meaning worn or damaged dies were not replaced as quickly as needed, increasing the chance of doubling and cracking, while poorly trained or overwhelmed staff may have overlooked the signs of improper planchets or press settings, especially in Denver where staffing issues reportedly arose during peak production months. Beyond that, numismatists speculate that some test strikes or transitional experimental coins may have accidentally entered general circulation from the Denver facility, especially considering the secrecy and limited documentation surrounding test runs, and these coins, possibly never meant to be seen by the public, now represent some of the most valuable and mysterious items in circulation, making their discovery even more thrilling and their value even higher. Moreover, some collectors believe a very limited number of 1999 D cents may contain compositional errors, such as an incorrect metal alloy or weight, some potentially struck on older bronze planchets or even blank Canadian cent stock, which only enhances their mystique and value as forensic analysis, metallurgical testing, and weight measurements reveal subtle deviations from the standard copper-plated zinc composition, sometimes pointing to legacy blank stock or foreign materials accidentally used. It is these endless layers of possibility that turn each 1999 D cent into a potential gold mine, and the thrill of checking every penny, flipping it under magnification, measuring its diameter and weight, scanning for die cracks, doubling, spacing anomalies, and even sound resonance, drives a passionate community of collectors, hobbyists, and treasure hunters who know that any moment they could stumble upon a life-changing find in the most mundane of places, a jar on the dresser, the bottom of a drawer, loose change at a gas station. Stories abound online and in coin forums of individuals who discovered rare 1999 D pennies in change and, not knowing their value, spent them unknowingly, while others, armed with knowledge and patience, held on to suspect coins for years before finally getting them certified and sold at record-breaking auctions. Some of the most dramatic cases involve coins found in circulation that combined a rare double die, a wide AM reverse, and flawless mint state red luster, netting their owners hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, and each such discovery only fuels the fire of interest in this magical year and mint mark, creating a snowball effect of demand, research, and valuation growth that now sees the 1999 D penny crowned among the most elite error coins in history. The numismatic community continues to monitor auction listings, coin shows, estate sales, and private collections for new examples or newly discovered error types from the 1999 D issue, as even subtle variants previously overlooked are now being re-evaluated with modern technology, high-resolution scanning, and third-party grading services that validate and amplify their worth. Collectors are also increasingly aware that provenance, knowing the coin's ownership history, and population data, how many examples exist in similar condition, play an enormous role in value, and given the extreme rarity of high-grade 1999 D errors, the competition to own one has only intensified, leading to private sales that sometimes exceed public auction figures and create whispers in the collector world of values climbing toward the $174 million mark for the finest, most error-packed, well-preserved, and storied example known to exist. Whether that pinnacle coin already resides in a vault or remains undiscovered in someone's forgotten coin jar is part of the great mystery and appeal, and the idea that 1 cent could be hiding such a secret fortune captures the imagination like few other collectibles can, reminding us all that sometimes, the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight, camouflaged in the ordinary, waiting only for the trained eye and a little bit of luck to uncover them, so check your chong. Last 2010 D 1 cent USA coin. We unlock the secrets hidden in everyday coins, expose the mysterious world of minting errors, and dive deep into the fascinating stories of pennies that can be worth a fortune. And today we are unraveling one of the most extraordinary and jaw-dropping tales in modern numismatics, a story that has baffled collectors, shocked historians, and electrified the coin-collecting community around the globe as we explore how a simple copper-plated zinc penny, the 2010 1 cent coin, struck at the Denver Mint, has skyrocketed in value to an estimated $173 million due to a series of rare minting errors, historical oddities, and circumstances that have converged to make this particular coin one of the most valuable small-denomination pieces in U.S. history. And if you think it's impossible for a 1-cent coin to hold such a staggering value, prepare to have your perception turned inside out as we delve into the specifics of what went wrong, or rather what went perfectly wrong, during the production of this rare anomaly that has now become a legend among serious collectors and treasure hunters alike, because the 2010 penny is not just a piece of metal, it's a perfect storm of numismatic rarity, combining historical transition, production mishaps, and extreme scarcity into one seemingly ordinary yet priceless artifact. And to understand the full picture we must first go back to 2010 itself, a year that marked the continuation of the new shield reverse design introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln Bicentennial reverse from 2009, a year that symbolized both a design and symbolic shift in the United States' smallest denomination coin, and this transition alone was ripe for mistakes as the U.S. Mint adapted to new dies, planchets, and production processes, and in the chaos of high-volume circulation demands, a limited batch of 2010 1-cent coins emerged with a range of significant and baffling errors that would only be recognized years later for their monumental impact on the coin's value and rarity, with collectors discovering a wide range of anomalies including double die obverse and reverses, off-center strikes, improperly annealed planchets, wrong planchet strikes, die clashes, die breaks, die rotation errors, misaligned dies, missing design elements, and transitional design mix-ups that together created an incredibly small, highly specific subset of coins with combinations of errors never seen before or since, and among the most famous errors reported is the double die reverse on the newly introduced Union Shield design, where the vertical stripes of the shield and the horizontal bar show pronounced doubling visible to the naked eye, giving the appearance of blurred lines or a double-image strike that should never have made it past quality control. Yet a small group of these coins not only survived but entered circulation and were eventually discovered by sharp-eyed collectors who realized their immense significance, especially when paired with a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile and the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" show strong doubling, making these error coins a stunning double-doubled variety, a phenomenon so rare it has only been documented in a handful of examples. And these few examples, when submitted to grading agencies such as PCGS or NGC, often receive extremely high grades due to their uncirculated condition and rarity, with some reaching MS67 and higher, exponentially increasing their value. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, because other 2010 pennies have been discovered with dramatic off-center strikes ranging from 5% to 90%, some missing the date entirely or showing Lincoln's face partially struck off the planchet while still retaining a full mint mark, making them immensely desirable in the error collecting world. And some examples even display broad strike errors where the coin was struck without the collar that normally shapes the edge, resulting in a flattened, stretched appearance that adds to its uniqueness and market value. And then there are the die cap errors, a truly rare phenomenon where a coin sticks to the hammer die and repeatedly strikes subsequent planchets, creating a high, thimble-shaped cap coin that is almost alien in appearance and nearly always a one-of-a-kind minting event. And these die cap 2010 pennies have fetched astronomical values at private auctions, particularly when the details remain crisp and the shape is well defined. And the excitement grows when considering reports of wrong planchet errors where the 2010 penny was accidentally struck on dime or foreign coin blanks, resulting in underweight coins with clipped designs and inconsistent metal compositions, often confirmed through weight tests and X-ray fluorescence analysis. And these examples are among the most valuable due to their striking difference from normal pennies and the immense rarity of wrong planchet errors in the modern era. And even more intriguing are lamination errors where the metal surface of the coin peels or separates due to flaws in the alloy mix or cooling process, creating an irregular surface that draws attention and commands a premium among collectors. And among the holy grails of these anomalies is the transitional error where a 2010 penny was struck using a leftover 2009 reverse die, blending the new Union Shield design with elements of the 2009 bicentennial issues, creating a hybrid Error that was never officially meant to exist, and yet a few verified examples have appeared in the wild, shocking even the most seasoned numismatists with their historical importance and extreme rarity. And then there are reports of design elements missing entirely, such as shield lines or part of Lincoln's profile, caused by grease-filled dyes or dye wear, which normally would not be particularly valuable on their own, but in the context of other combined errors significantly boost the coin's uniqueness and desirability. And even more elusive are coins with rotation errors where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned by 90 to 180 degrees, resulting in flipped or sideways reverses that baffle those unfamiliar with minting technology. And the most valuable of these coins tend to combine multiple errors in a single strike. Imagine a double die obverse with an off-center strike, struck on the wrong planchet, and with a die rotation issue, creating a truly once-in-a-lifetime specimen that borders on the surreal. And such coins have become the subject of fierce bidding wars among elite collectors, with one such 2010 error coin recently surfacing with full documentation and a high-grade slab selling at a private collector convention for over $20 million, with rumors suggesting a private investor has since insured the coin for over $150 million given its irreplaceable status, and experts agree that the value of such coins only continues to rise due to increased interest in error coinage, limited mintage numbers, and the ever-growing community of collectors who are scouring their change and coin rolls for hidden treasures. And the mystique of the 2010 penny has only been amplified by the sheer lack of official acknowledgement from the mint, which has remained tight-lipped about the volume or cause of these errors, adding an aura of secrecy and conspiracy that has only added fuel to the fire for collectors who see every mystery as a challenge to solve. And for every new discovery, the lore surrounding this coin grows as stories of incredible finds surface online, like the tale of a janitor who discovered a 2010 error penny with triple errors in a vending machine tray, or the teenage collector who pulled one from a $25 box of pennies and sold it for enough to pay for 4 years of college. Each story feeding the collective belief that the next great find could be out there waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. And with the advent of social media, coin roll hunting, and live error spotting videos, the popularity of the 2010 penny as a modern treasure hunt has only increased, with hobbyists and investors alike dedicating hours to analyzing coins under microscopes, submitting finds to professional grading services, and trading discoveries in online communities where even the faintest possibility of an error can spark days of analysis and debate. And while some experts caution that many minor defects are being overhyped, there is universal agreement that genuine 2010 errors of significant magnitude are among the rarest and most valuable of modern coins, particularly those with multiple high-impact anomalies in mint state red condition. And as these few known specimens enter long-term private collections or museum holdings, their availability on the open market shrinks, increasing their mystique and pushing values ever higher as the laws of supply and demand collide with the passion of collectors, who are willing to pay whatever it takes to own a piece of numismatic legend. And when you factor in population reports that suggest fewer than 10 verified high-grade multi-error 2010 pennies are known to exist, it becomes clear why even a single coin could command a valuation of $173 million or more, as not just a coin but a historic anomaly, a minting marvel, and a symbol of everything that makes coin collecting thrilling: the intersection of chance, history, craftsmanship, and the human desire to discover the extraordinary in the ordinary. So if you're holding on to that 2010 penny, or if you come across one in your daily transactions, take a closer look, break out the magnifier, measure the weight, analyze the details, and remember that hidden in your pocket could be the next multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow as we continue to reveal the hidden value in the coins you never thought could be worth a fortune.